Hi folks, we've really enjoyed listening to your questions, and we've piled up a few dozen now between us to answer this time as we meet on this gorgeous sunny bench once more, to ask each other questions and answer the ones that you want us to discuss. So,
Funniest thing that has happened to you at any church event?
one of the funniest things that ever happened to me, it was actually just hours of hilarity, was at New Wine. It's a Christian summer camp, summer conference in the 90s. And after the whole sort of evening was packed down and we'd had a great time, my sister and I and a few of our mates who happened to be sound and vision techie people and in a Christian band, which we thought was quite cool, called Supervision. If any of you were around in the 90s, probably weren't, basically. But we just hung out in the little AV sort of, it was like the roadies backstage kind of lounge, and laughed the night away. And I want to tell you, Ruth, this is confession, but I laughed so hard, something happened.
Oh, Maddie. Was it a big something or just a little something?
A little something, but I'm going to leave you guessing as to what it could have been. How about you, Ruth?
Amazing. I'm really struggling to think. I am so sure. I work with young people, right? Young people are hilarious. They just are. And so I know that I have laughed so hard that I have cried on many occasions at church events or weekends away or whatever. I'm really struggling to pinpoint. One of the funniest things was a couple of years ago we did a weekend away, and we were doing a session about the armour of God, and the person leading it split the young people into two groups, and they had to create a haka of the armour of God.
Oh, wow.
And watching them do that was amazing, but absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And particularly some of the adults who really got involved as well. I have videos of them all if you ever want to see them.
Oh, wow.
I can show them to you. But that is a lasting memory in my head of something really hilarious. Stuff goes wrong as well, which is always quite funny. Doing techie things, microphones dropping out here and there, the screen not working, who knows what else. I've fallen over on plenty of occasions in slightly embarrassing ways.
I got my heel stuck in a grill, coming down from preaching at a wedding.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's really awkward, especially because you want to leave it on a kind of really profound note and make your way discreetly back to your seat.
And that didn't happen.
Got completely stuck.
Yeah. I'm sure there are so many. Once we've stopped filming, I'll think of them all, won't I?
Yeah, there are lots.
Should
we move along?
Yeah.
Ruth, how can we, the church, return to the Great Commission and rekindle a passion for souls?
You like to ask me the big ones, don't you, Maddie?
What is the Great Commission, first of all? Because viewers might not know what that is.
Should we Bible it and read it?
I didn't bring one.
I've got it on my phone. The Great Commission, Matthew 28, verse 16. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came and said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." So go and make disciples of people, in short, isn't it? Make disciples, baptise people, and Jesus will be with us. How do we get back to that? Honestly, I don't know. I hope that it is part of what we do as church and as followers of Jesus, that we share our faith and we talk to other people who aren't Christians and tell them about Jesus, and then let God do his thing, because I don't believe it's us that converts people, it's God that does that. We're part of that journey and that story, but it's God that does the hard work in that. So I don't know how we get. Maybe we don't need to get back to it. Maybe we need to prioritise it more. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need to just affirm the fact that this has always been the thing for the church to do, to preach Jesus, to draw attention to him. I've often thought, and I think it more and more, that the church needs to find a better way, or just fresh ways always, of telling people as simply as possible, not come to church and let's sort out what you believe and philosophy and here's all the things we think, but there's someone I'd like you to meet. It's always come, there's someone we really want you to meet. And I think if we can bring attention to Jesus, as you say, he is a living person in the room, so he will act when people come to him. So I think we just need to do as much as we can to clear the ground, make way, so that he's the one that people can see and turn to and come to, on a Sunday, but just in our lives. And I think part of that is just recovering confidence to tell people what we really believe, and also maybe what we struggle to believe, but a lot of what we actually believe and why. Because I don't know about you, but I have such deep joy. It is pure joy for me to tell you about Jesus and about his hope and his character and his plans for our lives and all of that kind of thing. So why would we feel embarrassed to even begin to have that conversation? I don't know why, but I think we have, and that just shows me how much clutter is in the way of the person, or how so many other kind of things have got in the mix that really don't belong. So I think we need to come to Jesus, look at Jesus as much as possible, all the time, and let him do his thing and recover our joy and our confidence. And the passion will come. Yeah.
I wonder if some of it as well is breaking down assumptions and stereotypes of churches and of Christians. That it's in a lot of ways it's not easy just to go and talk about it to anyone, walking down the street and stopping a stranger and talking to them about Jesus, because they'll go, oh, you're one of those weird Christians, or inviting a friend to church because they think churches are boring, and why would they, what's in it for them? Why bother, almost, of the big scary buildings and sitting still on hard pews and listening to organ music and saying a lot of words that you don't understand, and someone then talking to you for a really long boring time and saying things that you don't understand, and all of these things. And I can say with certainty that a lot of churches are not like that at all. They're not like that, and I like to think that we are not awful boring Christians who shove Christianity down everyone's throats in a really horrible way and try to force people to live the way that we do, and all of that sort of thing. I don't think that's who we are at all, but I think that's how some people perceive us. And I think breaking down those barriers is part of our call as well at this point, is to break down the barriers that people have to meeting Jesus. And I think that is something that happens one person at a time quite often. And so this kind of big question of how do we as the church get back to the Great Commission, maybe it's just one person at a time.
One person at a time. And also, don't you and I and everybody else who is a Christian, we need to break down the barriers in our own lives that stop us coming to Jesus. And maybe that's the priority actually for the church. We need to get this first.
Very true. But there'll always be barriers, won't there? I think
there will, but maybe not big enough ones to stop us.
So then where do you draw the line? And when do you stop focusing on your barriers and start going,
you do
bigger topic, isn't
simultaneously. It's all happening.
Yes.